Welcome to the Santa Ana Industrial Lead November 2022 layout update. As you just saw, my LOA 32, the Marlboro, ran through my street running scene, at least the current state of it. As you can see, I've been busy, somewhat busy. So my last update was the August 2022 update, and it was actually dropped in September, so it's been roughly probably 2 months since I posted a layout update. I apologize for that. We had some travel in September and some other things, so I just wasn't able to put out a video. So I figured I would just wait until I could show most of the street running scene, the streets part, complete at least. Before we get into the actual update, I just want to let everyone know that I do periodically post updates here on the community tab. So for the last couple months, I have posted several pictures of progress. So if you want to keep up with the channel, please keep checking the community tab. I probably post pictures a couple times a week at least, I would say, depending on how much work I get done. I just want to take a minute to thank all the subscribers. It's been about roughly a year since I started posting real content on this channel, and I've grown it from obviously 0 to getting close to 2,000 in a year, which I don't know, probably pretty good, I'm not sure. But so I just want to say thanks, and if you are new and haven't subscribed, please click the subscribe button. And if you're here and you like the content I am providing, please click the like button. And if you are a subscriber, click the bell button to be notified when there are new videos. Thanks. So for this November update, I want to cover some of the street building that I've been doing and some of the techniques or what I've done to put together the street running scene. I want to also kind of focus on or show you guys what I will be doing in the future here. The next kind of phase of this will be kind of the scenery, trees, lights, finishing the structures, etc. After I cover the street running, I want to show you a couple of projects I've been working on aside from the street running. Some decal work, some decal graffiti work. After that, I'm going to do a live unboxing of my plastics hoppers from Rapido, which I purchased from modeltrainstuff.com. I actually have not even opened the shipping box yet. I got them a couple weeks ago, so I figured I would do an unboxing and not really a review, maybe just a high-level overview of the cars, and also show you a purchase I made a couple of weeks ago at a show. And that should about do it for this update. So why don't we take a closer look at the streets. First thing I want to do is go over all the different materials and paints and everything I use to build these streets, just in case somebody is building something similar. I'm not sure how many people are building 10.5-foot street running scenes, but figured I would show it anyway. While editing this video, I realized I had too much content about the street running build for a layout update video. As a result, I have decided to create a separate video that focuses solely on the street running construction. It will have content that I have recorded that you have not seen, and also some content from the last video, and then the content that I had planned for this video. This will enable me to have one video that has all the street running build content in one place. Once I complete that video, I will insert a link to it in this video in the upper corner. I did leave one clip in around some of the more detailed patchwork I did. So then I kind of pivoted audible to doing a little more to the sections of the patching that I had done. So here is one the far end of the street with just spray paint patching. It's very, no texture to it. You probably can't really tell much on the video, but that's how just the paint, the paper towel and the paint. And then I might have went in with a brush and kind of lightened it up. So then many other places I decided to use this. I've had this stuff for a while. I've had a couple tubs of it or crates, and it's just a jelly kind of black asphalt that leaves a little texture. So I ended up putting masking tape down over the patches that I had painted around, basically put the tape around the green tape. And then I just kind of scraped the terrain on here really flat as I could get it. And you could see, should be able to see maybe some texture to it, maybe hear it. But it's got a little sandiness to it. But when it goes on, it's, as you can see, saw in the package, it's really dark black, or just dark. So I quickly took the tape off after I applied it, and then I took a wet brush and kind of stabbed at the edges because they were super sharp, and I wanted to kind of make them a little fluffy, or whatever the word is I'm looking for, softer. And then I let it dry overnight, all the spots, and then I applied several layers of however much of a fade I wanted to, white, gray, gray, light gray, whatever. So they're not all the same. I didn't do the exact same thing for each one. So this one's kind of in the middle. You can see one right here that's really faded. That one's a lot lighter. Some over here a little bit lighter. But basically I was kind of just making them a little different, each one. And you can see this one, this is some spray paint that I really faded down. I didn't put the texture there, but I have it here to make it just look like, you know, that patching might be 5 years old, whereas this patching might be 2 years old. And then a couple spots here, it's almost brand new. This one here. Some of these were used to correct errors like this, but hey, you gotta do what you gotta do, right? So for this video, this place of worship or church is currently, I did make the frame or the core out of plywood here, 1/2-inch plywood, glued it together. So this will probably be kind of the focal point structure of the street, I guess, because it's the largest, and it's probably 70 feet high in real life. And it's kind of, I don't want to say iconic, but it's in a lot of, when people take street running pictures, I've seen this building quite a bit over the years. Right now I just have regular paper, the building printed on it. I measured approximately what I thought. I think I'm a little low on the height. So I plan to just use, for the time being, kind of print photo wallpaper for the front and the sides. And then also add in some details with some standoff details, like of styrene. So this is tube, or rectangular tube here. And so something like this. It actually is pretty good size there, it looks. So here, and then it kind of has like a 3 sideways, straight, sideways, and then these are cut a little bit. But so I'll give it a little relief, I guess, structure. And then the top part, which is kind of sticks out quite a bit, it'll probably be 1 by 2 covered in styrene, and it has, I'll flip a picture in, it has kind of a unique design up there, different like little rectangles going all the way through. I have a craft cutter Cricut that I got for Christmas last year and haven't even opened it, so I plan to use that as my first test run on the Cricut to cut that out. So that should work out. So that's this building, and then obviously the details around. I got to do the parking lot here. It's I think it's asphalt, and that'll be a good stand-in for now until I decide if I want to take it further with like a full scratch build on it. But I don't know if I'll even be able to get it to look as good as a photograph would, but we'll see. So quickly going down the rest of the street, right here, like I said earlier, is just a school / like a nursery school, and it's a green field that goes this way, and it's all fenced in. So that will be that. I got a scratch, but looks pretty easy to build. It's a pretty basic structure. Across the street from there, and next to this building, is this 2-story house with a garage underneath. And actually I think there's a back section back here. And there's actually another house, but I won't have enough room, so I'm just going to do the one house with the yard. This spot here, I think, is going to be this house, actually. One here, over there. Still kind of messing around with it. And then here will be something similar to this with the little garage. The blue house, I think, is going to be where it is, with a garage in the yard as well, and the fence and the tree. Here, so here and here are kind of undecided. Might be something similar to this one right here, just facing the other way, facing that way with the drive. But and then down here, in real life, right by the highway, is an apartment complex. Not gonna fit there, so I'll probably just put a small house or part of a house here and have the backyard there. And then this house will be, that street has houses similar to this style, the Spanish style. So I think that for sure that one's going to be there. So its backyard will be facing the highway. So I think I'll build up the backyard. I'll put one of those things that's made of wood that kind of has slats that lets the sun partially through in the backyard. So I could just build that out of scrap wood or whatever, or styrene. So that's kind of the tentative plan for the structures on the street. I am now going to show some prototype photos from Google Street View, as well as views on my layout. In this photo, I am focusing on the large palm tree way down at the end. In my version, you can see the long white trunk that I stuck in the ground between the 2 Amazon palm trees. That is part of a kit that I will build. That tree looks to be about as high as the telephone poles. Above is an intersection with various types of trees. You got large bushy trees, those small flowering trees, and even a palm tree in the background. So here is approximately where this scene would be on my layout at this intersection. By doing a little research, I think these red flowering trees are crepe myrtle trees. So I will be constructing some of these out of super trees for my street. And again, this is roughly where these trees will be located in the little tree lawn between the street and the sidewalk. In this picture, you see 2 large leafy trees in the backyard surrounded by a very weathered wooden fence. and a swing set type thing in the backyard. So here on my layout, you see approximately where something like this would be. The fence, I'd have to paint and strip, and some trees there as stand-ins. So this picture, I just wanted to point out, in the tree lawn there, you see the 3 probably crepe myrtles evenly spaced as they go down the street, and also the light post there. And here you see where that something like that might be. I have to be cognizant of how much I'm putting in this small space, but we'll see how it goes. So in addition to the trees I was showing you earlier, another detail I'm going to put on the street are these street lights, lamp posts from Woodland Scenic's Just Plug system. They sell a few different kinds. So here's one out of the box. So I have 9 right now, 3 packs of 3. Probably gonna need more, but we'll see how I space them out. I gotta get the roads cemented down, glued down, caulked down, whatever. And then I could start drilling through it to install the lights, the trees. Let's see, some kind of started to put down where the telephone poles go. I started kind of painting some up. And I think last time I also showed a big bag of details. Fences and fire hydrants, signs, what you name it, all kinds of little things. So it's just going to be probably a fairly long process building the street, but it seems like it might be kind of fun. So now I'm going to take you over to the workbench, and we're going to check out some of the other projects I'm working on. So the first project on the workbench, which I've shown on the community tab, is working on some of these Armin reefers. I wanted to change a couple of them to this Cold Connect theme right here. This is how they come stock. I saw a cool like graffiti picture one that I wanted to try to replicate, but I noticed it had the Cold Connect, and I figured I would just try to make the car look like that. So it ended up, this is the regular how it comes. I took this decal off using, you soak it in microsol for like 10 minutes, and then you just rub it off with a Q-tip. It's pretty easy. And then I made a whole sheet of these Cold Connect decals. I just found a picture online and replicated it on decal paper, or replicated it and then put it in like Photoshop and then duplicated it. And then basically you just spray the whole sheet with gloss clear a couple times to get it hard. So as I did a little more research on looking at this car that I wanted to replicate, turns out that here, this Building America decal needs to go, and then this whole Armin and the number gets moved over about to here. So then I had to get a sheet of these decals, and I'll probably just renumber it to the number of the car that I want. So that's this UP reefer project, and I'll probably do a couple of these Cold Connects just because they don't sell them, and it's kind of cool to have kind of a unique car. Oh, and one more thing I saw is that the data is in a different place on these. So I took a picture of this car, blew it up, and ended up just making a decal of the data from taking a picture of the data. So I'll just take this off, move it to where it needs to go. Sorry, this one, and then be done with it. So continuing the decal project, I showed this one on the community tab as well. It's a decal I made of Mecro. I found a picture online, or several pictures online, but I kind of straightened it out in Photoshop, you know, and then sized it correctly to the car and just made a decal of it and put it on. I put dull coat over it for now, but I still need to weather the car. So here are a few more decals that I've made. I figured it was more economical to find a bunch and use up a whole sheet instead of making one at a time, which I was before. This one is on white decal paper. This last one was on clear. So the white, you can't print white, at least with normal printers. So any graffiti with white in it, like this has it here, here, some are on the letters. You'd have to print it on white paper, and then when you put it on the car, the white will show up. Otherwise, if it was clear, it would just show the color of the car. So that white part would be gray in here, wouldn't look correct. The drawback is you have to really cut it really close around the outline of the graffiti so that you don't get the car around from the picture on the car, unless it's like the same color, which usually it never is. But and here's another. These are maple. That's the tag, the guy's name. If you guys saw that Showtime documentary on graffiti, he was one of the guys in it. But so here's another one in progress. This was the decal here. So I've already cut it, and it's sized almost perfectly. I sized it up, measured it to match the ribbing here. But I think I'm going to, so I already drew a pencil around where the decal goes. And I'm going to airbrush. I'm going to redraw it with a little farther out, but I'm going to airbrush orange, kind of an orange-ish paint, maybe a couple of colors, to try to match this outer color scheme he's using. And that should make it look a little better when I put it on, because it's gonna, the fact that it's a clear decal, it's gonna wash out some when I adhere it. The ribbing is gonna make it tough, but I did one previously that so this one, this is a decal, and it was very difficult to put on here because of all these ribbings. And I had painted the background white. You could see it there, the outline. I used a piece of tape, like painter's tape, and cut around it to match the decal. And then I painted it and then put the decal on. And you have to, you could see all the little white in the lettering. That's what I think where the decal was ripping, because it was just a big pain to try to adhere it. But it actually kind of looks like it's aging, really. It's not bad. It's, I guess, a Bob Ross happy accident, maybe. And then this, the back, I just hand painted this Macro R tag. And then just one final graffiti tip, whether you're using decals or painting it yourself, trying to replicate a prototype. Make sure that when you put the decal on or you're painting it, that you're starting at the very bottom of the car. The majority of graffiti you see on prototypes, the guys start at the very bottom. They don't leave a space, like started at this rib. It's always at the bottom and kind of within an arm reach away. Some of them stand on buckets or get little ladders, unless they're doing like a whole car. But for these types of tags, they almost always start at the bottom of the car. It just doesn't look real if it's stuck in the middle, you know. Here's an example of one of the ones a guy did for me. I met on Instagram. He was an artist. This is a prototype. I sent him pictures and he did just a phenomenal job, but obviously it's all at the bottom. And the back side, he did his own. He just kind of made up a tag. And as you can see, it looks realistic because it's starting at the bottom. Same with this kind of black outline one. And one final note on a graffiti. Here's an example of a car I did with a decal I made that's an actual prototype car, which I will flip in a picture now. But this is what I'm talking about, where I put the decal on, but I weathered it to the car. So actually, you can't really tell, but underneath this decal, there's spots that I painted white. Maybe up here, underneath the gun, in certain spots, and then put the decal over it. The decal over it, and then obviously weathered. I think I faded the whole car and put some maybe some powders or whatnot, but it really blends in well. It's hard to see, maybe a little bit. You can see the edges. I probably should have did a better job cutting it out, but it's pretty good. And the other side is just plain. I was thinking of doing a video on all the graffiti cars I have and just the prototypes they were based on, and maybe who did them and what they did, or what I'm aware of that they did. I got a lot of them. Maybe it might be a good video. I don't know if it'd be interesting or not, but let me know in the comments if that's something you'd like to see. So the last thing I was going to do was do an unboxing of my Rapido Plastic Hoppers that I recently bought from modeltrainstuff.com. So I'm going to see what we got here. They always do a great job of packing, I must say. Yep. Another box. So I got a 6-pack. I guess this is how they come. So I'm going to move the camera and do this on the bench here. Oh, parts bag. Yeah, they give you different hatches for whatever, I think, era you're doing. Sticker. This is sharp. Nice etched grills there. Coupler cut lever. It's really nice printing. Assuming you can read the numbering. Yep, magnification. put it on the track, see how she rolls. Those hatches are really close to the track, but they aren't hitting it. Rolls nice. Must be a little downhill over there. So I forgot about this one other purchase I made a few weeks back at the Berea, Ohio train show I'm living near Cleveland, were these Metrolink 3 car set. Probably asking why would I want a passenger train on my layout. There's actually, the Metrolink runs right near and actually crosses, my line crosses over their tracks and actually uses their tracks for a portion of the Santa Ana Industrial Lead, although I was not able to model it. I did talk a little bit about it in my layout planning video. If you go check that out, we tried to incorporate the Metrolink trackage, but we could not. But anyway, I guess they're kind of more for collector's pieces for now, but if I ever do expand the layout to where I can incorporate that, I will have the cars. So I'm not sure if they would have been available then, but I do want to show the lighting off on these. It's pretty cool. So let me turn the lights off. Hang on. All right, so they come with this little wand with the magnet on top that all you got to do is hit the top of the car and the lights come on, which were hard to see. Boom, off. On. My little granddaughters like to do the lighting. They thought it was the coolest thing ever. It is pretty cool, but so that's the Rapido passenger cars, bi-level commuter cars.